bikes for another video. Today we're going to be continuing with the mountain bikes. We're going to be stripping them all down to a bare frame and getting them ready for primer. So as you can see, the bike is here in the workshop, still covered in crud. So we're going to do first now, we start stripping it down. I've got the bike upside down so I can take the wheels off. I am going to have to invest in a bike stand, I think, so it'll make it easier to rebuild. You can get it pretty cheap on Amazon, so I'll probably have a look for one of those at a later date. First of all, we're going to take the front wheel off, nice and easy. I think we'll give it a bit of a move up with some GT85. And maybe a touch on WD as well, just to make sure it's all nice and free. Turning nicely, look at that, lovely. The pre-lube goes a long way. What's this say? Should just squeeze past the brakes. The tyres are knackered. Something like that. First part off. So the wheels are really good condition actually, just need a really good clean, spritz them up, maybe strip down and re-grease. Hear that? A little bit crusty in there, probably run out of grease, so we'll strip them all down and re-grease them all when we get the new tyres, etc. Yeah, I'd like to keep the original wheels, I think. To keep it original-ish. I think I'll get the bike up on the bench so I can strip it all off properly. And it'll be nice, come off from one. Yeah. Now do I update the gear set or do I keep it as it is? It's only going to be a general jobbing around bike, it's not going to be a race bike anymore, so I don't have to update to any lightweight stuff, but again it's probably going to need a good strip down and re-grease. It's not bad. Okay, put that to one side. So I've got the bike up on the bench, got the chain off. It took me a while to actually find the split link because it's so covered in crud. I may clean it up and see what it's like. I may just invest in another chain, it might be just be easier to get a brand new chain. Rear brakes came off nice and easy. Everything seems, I think when I built it I did put loads of grease on it and everything, and it seems to have, touch wood, stopped everything from corroding, because it has just been in a horrible damp garage, or old shed really, more than a garage for, probably, we've been in this house 20 years, over 20 years, so it's not, it was in the garage before that, because it's not been ridden for a good 25 years probably. So, let's see if I can get the lovely little drink cages off. Smaller Allen key, I think. Yep. I won't show every single part of removing this because there's lots of videos out there showing how to actually take these apart. It's all pretty much straightforward. What we'll do is we'll take everything up and then we'll lay everything out on the bench and we'll assess exactly what we're going to keep and what we're going to throw away and replace. The paintwork is not going to take long to actually take off, I don't think. Some of it's actually tape. I can't remember actually if I put tape on there. I must have done at some point just to cover up with the paint chipped off. I was hoping the crank hasn't seized in there. Not bollocks. Pain in the bum to get off. Okay, so I'll continue stripping this down as far as I can, and then I'll check back with you in a minute when hopefully 99% of it is off. Right, as you can see, we have now amassed lots of parts. So the bike is now in pieces. I didn't really have any problems taking anything apart. The only thing I did have problem with getting the crank released. So I purchased a crank release tool. I think it cost me £5 off Amazon. Made the job a hell of a lot easier. But now, the only thing I've got to remove is the bottom bracket. I'm going to see if I can get the correct tool for that, remove that. So you can see it's got some overspray on it. So I'm going to remove all that, clean all that up. And the other part is the bearing cups. So they've got to come out as well. So I'm going to get the correct tool for that. And then this frame is then pretty much stripped. So we'll get a heat gun on it and remove all the vinyl and the graphics and the old tape. Clean that up as much as possible. If you're actually going to do this and you didn't have a budget, I recommend taking a frame like this to a media blaster and having it blasted and get all the dirt out in between all the little gaps. You can do it, you know, a really nice job. But I'm doing this on a budget, so I'm going to do it all by hand. Yes, it's going to take me a long time. Hobby for the next couple of days is sanding all this down and making it all nice and smooth, getting rid of all the rust. Then we'll give it a nice coat of etch primer to protect it before we move on to the next stage of priming and deciding what colour paint we're going to go for. As for the other bike, I've still got that to strip. Let's pop that down there. I've still got this to strip, so this will be the next job. It's going to be really straightforward, standard strip on this bike again. Again, the original brakes there. It's going to come off really nice and easy. This sort of style brake is going to have to go back on because it's only got a single old school mounting point, but it's fine. They're good little brakes. It works, does what it's supposed to. It stops the actual bike. So I may replace this, get something that's chrome to go with the look that Julie wants. She wants a lot of chrome and bling and shiny stuff on it, so we may get a chrome version of this, or we may paint it to match the bike. We don't know yet. We'll decide at a later date. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put all these parts, I'm going to sort through them, see what we want to keep. I may even swap this stem onto the orange bike, and I was donated this by a friend a while ago, a nice headset. So we'll need an adapter for my forks, so I may even put them on my bike. Go for a nice cruiser style, a little bit wider handlebars. We will see. I think that will look quite nice on there. So what I think I was going to do now is sort through all the bits I want to keep, because I've still got quite a few bits in here, and then we're going to put all the parts in a cardboard box which we've got here waiting. Keep them all safe and separate from each bike. So we've got 2 boxes, one for each bike, but definitely going to have to get new wheels for this bike, I think. But I think I've seen some on Amazon, the same sort of style, chrome. I think they'll suit this bike quite nicely with all the chrome on it. But it's up to Julie what sort of part she wants to get. Whether she gets new pedals. Definitely have to get new pedals, I think. But I think I'm going to stick with this crank, stick with the steel crank and the original derailleur and gear change system. I think just get new brake levers. But she doesn't want bar ends. She says she doesn't want bar ends. She wants to go for a standard sort of feel on her bike. Right, and now I'm going to keep the crank. Yes, it's going to need a complete strip down and polish. I'm in 2 minds whether to keep this gear set or not, or just go for a single cog. So we'll put those in the box until we've decided, until we come to rebuilding it and cleaning all the parts up. Brakes, definitely going to keep those and use those again. May get some new bolts. They are pretty good. There's the other set still in there. So we'll just put those in the box as well. Seat stem, yeah, I'm probably going to keep that, clean it all up, repaint it all on, is that aluminium there? Yeah, it's just got like a clear candy blue paint on that, hand painted I think it was. But I'll clean all this up, the actual bracket, and paint all that. I may even get a new bracket, I'm definitely going to get a new seat. But yeah, we'll keep that. Refurb all that. That'll in the box as well. We haven't made a decision on the stem yet. I think I am going to go for that, but we'll just have to get an adapter to fit, so we'll measure all that up. But we'll do that again when we build the bike. I'll just put those in the box as well. Pedals, yep. I like my BMX pedals, keep them. Again, they'll clean up nice. I'm going to go for a similar sort of look to this with a candy over the top of the gold. The hangers, I quite like those, quite retro, so we'll keep them. The cable hanger, foot cable hanger, I may see if I can clean that up. There, and the derailleur, we'll clean all that up. I have got, that's solid though, jeez. Completely solid, what is that? I have got some red aluminium sprockets, so I may put those in as well, I think, just give it that extra bit of look. Oh yeah, that's better. See, it's done over time. Something like that. Yeah, I think this should clean up quite nice. It's quite a nice system actually. The STX, very retro. Yeah, it's cleaned up really nice. You can see that on camera. It's cleaned up really nice. Should be all greased up and stripped down and cleaned. I think that'll be a nice little system. Change the sprockets for some aluminium ones, anodised red aluminium. Give it an extra bit of bling. Matching with the rest of the actual bike. But yeah, in the box that can go with that as well. Quick slip of tea. Lovely. Bar ends. Yep, I think I'm going to run. I like bar ends. I might keep those. We need completely new cables for brakes and gear shifters. This handlebar here, as you can see, I took the old GT BMX grips off. It's still sticky, so I'm going to give those a really clean up, probably with some GT85 just to get the grease and that off. But I think they're going to go on Julie's, and they're quite nice with the sort of look she wants. Drinks holders, not sure. Well, keep them just in case. But I'll keep that to one side. That can go in the other box into Julie's, I think. So I think they're definitely going on hers. So they can go in the other box. Seat, kaput. So that didn't take long, did it? All those parts now in a box, safe. So I'll do now. I think is I'll get on with the other bike, strip that, and then we'll have a look at the paint on this, because I know it was enamel because I did it by hand. But the race on that is pretty good. So I'll give that a really good clean.
It's going to be so awesome having another vehicle with AC.
Just stop a bit of deadbeat. Right, so just a little update while I'm still stripping paint. The tool arrived for the bottom cranks and I managed to get those out, but as you can see, this one is really rusty. This is in the old Apollo frame. That was an absolute nightmare to get off. I had to use a breaker bar in the end to actually get that off. But it came out with lots of perseverance and brute force and ignorance. So I think it'll be alright. It's a sealed unit. It's an old Shimano one, so I want to try and keep it really. But I think a really good clean up, wire brush, get rid of some of the surface rust off, clean it all up inside. It should go back in quite nicely. The one in the Marin frame, again a sealed unit, just needs a bit of a clean, but that came off really easy. So again, needs all cleaning up, all the overspray from before, clean all that up, get it all nice and clean. So basically the frames are now fully stripped except for the cable guide here, which is riveted on. So I am gonna, is it gonna focus? No. Focus? Sort of. I am going to have to actually grind this off and tap that out, put a little screw in or something like that, a little self-tapper. As long as it doesn't hit the bottom bracket, we should be fine there. And I have actually purchased some strip away gel stripper, and it seems to be working alright. This is just, it takes it off layer by layer, which is a slow old process. You just paint it on, it takes the basically taking the red off first, then it's taking the white, and then there's a purple underneath, it's taking that off. So I want to really get all the way back to bare metal if I can, and then I'm going to give it a really good grind in the sand and get all the little areas off. If I can get the bulk of it off with the paint stripper, that'd be quite nice. I think make my job a little bit easier. So I think I'm going to do now though is get it outside, because it's a really messy process. A little bit of surface rust inside, but this will clean up. It's all really good. So I've got a real sort of good base for a nice retro rebuild. And I have started, I was waiting for the bottom bracket tool to arrive, is doing the graphics. So I've got the Marin one all laid out now, so that's going to go, I think it's upside down, isn't it? So it's probably going to go, I may make it a little bit bigger, but I think that'll be fine, because it's going to go halfway through the fade, I think. And I've got the headstock logo to do now, which I'm just about to do. The graphics on this one we don't know yet. Julie's still got to decide. She still hasn't decided on colours yet. So basically I think I'm going to do is get the Marin all painted and ready. Get them both primed, but get the Marin all painted. That'll probably be in the next video. Just get down to primer in this video, and then we'll go through the whole process of paint in the next one. Okay, so I'm outside just basically whacking on this paint stripper quite liberally on one side of the bike, and it is, as you can see, picking up quite nicely. Trying not to get covered in it. So I'm just going to basically give this another coat all over, just on one side of the bike at the moment. Then I'm going to let it soak overnight, cover it in plastic, then hopefully I'll be able to just wash this side off, and then do the other side over a couple of days. I should strip it down, then I'm going to give it a really good sand, probably with an 80 and then a 180, and then we should be ready for etch primer. So there we have the Trek mountain bike all primed. It had 2 coats of etch, just the aerosol etch, and then a couple of coats of the aerosol high build primer. I'm trying to keep the actual primer as light as possible, because there's going to be a lot of material on this bike with the candy coat and the metal flake, etc. So I don't want to give it too much material on there. So a primer is really nice and light. Just got to be prepped now, probably with a 400, but I'll be doing all that in the next video, and we'll go through the entire paint process in that video as well. Still got the Apollo frame to do, but again, like I said earlier, I'll do that off camera. Don't want to bore you with the same process again, and I'll just get that all ready for primer. We'll probably do the entire paint process on that in another video as well, when colours have actually been decided on. So if you've liked this video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Stay tuned for the actual custom paint process, and I'll see you in the next video.